Stay safe. From KCRG TV 9, this is First Alert Weather Now.
Good evening and welcome to the Friday evening edition of First Alert Weather Now. I'm meteorologist Corey Thompson. We have a lot to get to again as we head into a weekend that starts off with a little bit of snow and wraps up with a lot of cold temperatures that are going to last for several days across eastern Iowa as our wintry pattern keeps going. We've also got the forecast for fun as we head into the weekend and a look beyond the weather, which as we get into clearer skies next week, hopefully we can take a closer look at some of those things going up in the sky. We'll also have a little bit to say about the future of First Alert Weather Now and what you can expect next week. But first, what you need to know as you step outside tonight is the continued chance for some wintry weather. We do have a winter weather advisory in effect for the vast majority of eastern Iowa, as the possibility of snow is not done yet. We already had our first wave of snow move through, and that has pretty much exited, but the possibility of more scattered snow is there as we go through the evening and nighttime hours. Now, we are expecting at least a few hours here of a break across the vast majority of eastern Iowa, so if you have your Valentine's Day night plans yet to come, you're not in bad shape. Now, as we look towards Saturday, that's when more snow could develop. It could be across a good portion of the area, especially in the morning. Then it will track off to the southeast, and in its wake, those very cold temperatures will arrive. Our Dubuque City Cam shows a spot where a decent amount of snow fell. We are starting to get some reports up in Hazelton along the Highway 20 corridor just to the north of it. We saw 2.2 inches of snow with this initial round. Mount Vernon saw a good burst of snow that caused some slick roads, but not as much accumulation. Temperatures in the 20s right now, our wind chills down the single digits in low teens. So if you are heading out, make sure to dress warmly. There's that lack of activity here in eastern Iowa right now, but you are seeing a little bit of precipitation in the form of some flurries potentially in parts of the area in east central Iowa. It's off to the west where we have seen a little bit of additional development just south of Sioux City. That will likely move to the east and affect those north of Highway 20. Road conditions continue to be slick after that evening round of light snow. Be ready for some slick spots if you're headed out, although they do appear that they are not extremely widespread at this point, especially south of Highway 20. Tonight, we will see that lull take place this evening and then more snow tomorrow, temperatures in the 20s as we go through the next several hours. It is the weekend. Things do still go on, even snow, rain, or shine, of course, and Chief Meteorologist Joe Winters has tonight's forecast for fun.
Our weekend is not far away. If you have ongoing events tonight, of course, we're going to be watching. By Saturday, we're going to keep that chance of snow in the forecast. Even Sunday, Monday, although those chances much less. Sunday could be more flurries. Herein lies the story for next week that you're hearing about, the cold air that's being in place. So if you are doing some walking, certainly bundle up, wear the appropriate clothing, but get out and enjoy some of our winter weather. Let's count it down. We've now passed Valentine's Day. We're 31 days away from St. Patrick's Day. Easter now 65 days away. Mother's Day comes up in 86 days. And guess what? The 4th of July, 140 days away. It will be here before you know it. C is for Cookie still going on at the Hiawatha Community Center the next 45 minutes or so. Valentine's cookie decorating class, you can still make it. Again, any snow showers that are out there, though, watch for that. Could create some slick spots and stretches on the area roadways. On Saturday, the Iowa State men's basketball team's in town at Hilton. Of course, Cincinnati comes to town. That's a 3 o'clock tip-off. There will be some scattered pockets of snow showers in the area, and temperatures will be falling as that game commences. Our ski report has been updated as well, and with the fresh snow we have, there's some fresh powder in spots, which is great news. Take a look at that. A new base of about 4 to 6 inches across portions of eastern Iowa and areas of Wisconsin. Plenty of runs open and plenty of times for you to get out and enjoy some beautiful conditions on the hills in eastern Iowa. That's our look at our forecast for fun.
Now, your First Alert forecast with meteorologist Corey Thompson.
And we are watching this storm system off to our southwest as our big weather maker over the next 24 hours. That first push of snow that moved through this evening, that was on the leading edge of some slightly warmer and slightly more moist air, and that is not the end of it. There is a break, but then more will be developing. We already see some precipitation out that way off to our south and west. Now, your First Alert highlights snow here in orange. That period of heavy to moderate snow really has ended this evening, and so we have that period of time where some snow showers are possible, some slick roads remain possible too, but tomorrow morning in particular that we're watching for the snow to pick back up. Winds will also pick back up after turning a little bit lighter overnight. Gusts will get back above 20 miles per hour and probably stay there for a while as we head through Saturday and into Sunday. Now, winter weather advisory is in effect for almost the entire TV9 viewing area. Henry and Louisa County technically not included, but you're not totally out of the woods for wintry precipitation either. But this is the place where the impacts from this system will be most likely to be at least disruptive for a period of time. Now, here's pinpoint Doppler radar live showing that band of snow moving off toward Wisconsin and Illinois, causing slick roads out that way. A few of those small areas of flurries, like we said, still lingering behind. But if we pull back and look off to the south and west, there is rain falling in northwest Kansas, some snow in southern Nebraska, and this little band of snow here in northeast Nebraska into northwest Iowa. This one is the one that could move into northeast Iowa as we go through the nighttime hours. This is with that area of low pressure, and as that gets closer, that's the factor that we're watching for your Saturday. Now, road conditions out there still partially covered across most of the TV9 viewing area. Again, Interstate 80 and 380, both looking pretty good until you get north of Cedar Rapids. That's where the heavier snow fell this evening in terms of getting some accumulation out of it, and that's where roads may take a little while to get fully back to seasonal. Now, tonight, temperatures will be in the upper teens to mid-20s, coldest up in the north, warmest down the south. Chance of snow there, but lesser as we go through the nighttime hours. And then tomorrow, things start to pick up again. So here we are in Pinpoint Futurecast. There's the batch of snow to our east. There's that band of snow that could develop to our northwest. And by 11 o'clock, some areas north of Highway 20 dealing with some of that snow, and then a bit more as we go through the night. But notice by 4 o'clock, it starts to fill in a little bit more to the south. And a little bit of mixed precipitation gets involved in our far south. A little bit of freezing rain may sneak in down toward Washington and Mount Pleasant thanks to some warm air moving in aloft. That could cause that precipitation to melt and then refreeze as it falls toward the ground. North of there, snow, likely a fairly wet snow in nature, will be starting to fill in, and that will be giving those slick roads a possibility during the morning into the latter portion of the morning too. So by the time we get toward lunchtime and beyond, our northern zones start to get out of the area of precipitation, but then we watch the south and east for additional snow in the afternoon. Not a promise that it's going to last that long. In fact, there's still a good amount of uncertainty with this system, even this close to it moving through. And so it is a possibility, not a guarantee, that those areas remain snowy through the afternoon. Some flurries linger into Saturday night into Sunday. Now here's our snowfall forecast. Our overall picture is calling for 4 to 6 inches total, including that evening snowfall and what happens tonight and tomorrow, generally north of Highway 20. 2 to 4 inches are possible south of there, traced to 2 in the far south. Notice our confidence meter is still on the lower end here. That's because there is still a decent amount of uncertainty here. Consider this perhaps the worst case scenario that we could see here, although there are some possible reasons why we may even see some slightly higher totals embedded within this in smaller bands. It's just a very tricky system, unfortunately, to forecast. We're giving it our level best. It does look like we're going to see some slick roads develop, and so we just want you to be aware of that, your first alert to that as we head to Saturday. Temperatures on Saturday will be in the 20s and low 30s. Snow is likely with this system too. Now, as we head towards Sunday into next week, much colder air will be on the way. We're going to turn below normal and stay quite a bit below normal during this time frame. In fact, we're not going to turn that around until we get toward the tail end of next week. We may actually get temperatures back closer to normal. So settle in for what will likely be some pretty wintry weather. Now again, we have a pretty cloudy weekend, but there will be opportunities for clear skies late in the weekend and again toward portions of next week. Chief Meteorologist Joe Winters is here with this week's edition of Beyond the Weather to give you a look at what you could see.
As we have cold conditions, if we get clear skies, and we will have some as we head into next week, it's a good chance to take a look beyond the weather because we have the least moisture in the atmosphere and some of our clearest skies. Let's take a look. We just passed our full February moon. It was known as the snow moon, named for the heavy snows typical in February. Boy, we have seen that this week, now into the upcoming weekend. The February full moon is also known as the hunger moon, the storm moon, or the bone moon. Hunger moon and bone moon are names that refer to scarce food sources and hard hunting conditions this time of the year. Certainly February, one of our biggest winter months, and that's why you'd see that. So again, we passed the full moon for February. The next full moon comes up on March 14th. Next up on our lunar calendar will be the last quarter. That comes on February 20th. Our new moon, when we do see the darkest skies as well, February 27th, and that first quarter, March 6th, followed by that full moon on March 14th, just in time for St. Patrick's Day. Let's take a look at the skies. What can you see? Now, tonight, and we do have some clouds, but it's still going to be evident the next several nights. Venus just happens to be at its brilliant tonight. It will be the brightest that it's been for a while in our western sky. Very easy to see just off the horizon. As we look ahead at our western sky, and this moves us ahead to the 18th, could certainly see clear skies. Now, the key with this, you do need a wide view of the horizon because Mercury will be very low on the horizon. It will appear out there, and you can see some of the light from Mercury. You'll also see the planet Saturn. They're very, very close together. That's, again, around your western sky. Make sure you are looking very carefully in the evening hours for that because it will end very quickly as, again, because Mercury is so near the low of the horizon, you do need some extra viewing area. Now, March 20th, let's get to the morning hours. 5:30 a.m., your southern sky. There you see a very easy object to find. Of course, that's our moon. Just off to the left of the moon as we look at our picture, that kind of reddish object. Sometimes we think of the planet Mars. Well, in this case, it's the star Antares. Beautiful combination of a star and the moon to find in our southern sky. And of course, Antares also part of the constellation Scorpius. So you'll want to take a look at that early in the morning. That comes up on February 20th. Again, generally look toward our southern sky, but find the moon. That'll be the easiest way to locate that. As far as the ISS, can we see it moving across? Well, the next and best view comes Sunday evening at 5:48. It'll be visible for 5 minutes with a maximum height of about 73 degrees. Appears and disappears over the east. Watch for that bright light pushing through and take a look at the International Space Station. The bad news, though, lots of clouds around yet as we head through the weekend. I think some clearing moves in, but it's going to take a while for that to move in, and that will come at us as we head through the early part of next week, along with some very cold conditions. That's a complete look beyond the weather.
Now, temperatures over the next several days will be the big thing to focus on once we get past the chance for snow tomorrow. So again, remember those slippery road conditions for your Saturday. Sunday has a few snow flurries lingering, and then Monday we also have a snow chance. But Sunday is really when that cold air starts to move in. I'm going to see our temperatures drop already about 19 degrees below normal, and then toward the early and middle portion of the next week, 30 degrees at least below normal right at the bottom of our graph here. We can't go lower than that based on how we set that up. So very, very chilly, but there is a sign of a warming trend toward the end of next week and the end of the month. Now, Monday does come with a little bit of light snow that will likely miss most of us, but notice this disturbance that'll track to our southwest. It's a little clipper type system, and it brings some light snow to the southwestern third, maybe the southwestern half of the state, and that's what would get it more involved in parts of eastern Iowa, but it does look like its impacts generally miss us just to the south. Now, those lows overnight in the double digits below zero, it won't take much wind to push our wind chills down to 20 to 30 below zero as a result. So we do want you to be aware that it will be very, very cold. Highs likely only just barely above zero for a handful of days before things improve toward next weekend. We could be close to freezing again. How exciting. Now, finally, this is the last edition of First Alert Weather Now live at 6:30. You've been able to watch us online for the past few months here on our various streaming platforms, but now we're bringing it to the air. That's the good news. Our First Alert meteorologists will share their expertise every weekday like we have been here, offering an in-depth look at the weather conditions and special features around both eastern Iowa and the nation. That begins next week, February 17th at 4:30 on KCRG TV 9. That's right, on your television set. But you can also watch it on KCRG.com, the various KCRG apps, and we will have a version of it still here for our viewers that are checking us out on YouTube. Super excited about the opportunity, and it's going to be great. It's going to be this, but better. Thanks for joining us tonight on First Alert Weather Now. We'll be back again Monday at 4:30, and have a great weekend.